coconut on my stoop. What on earth shall I do? I thought they were from the hood, but it seems I misunderstood. It's like they're white on the inside, but are really brown on the outside. There's a coconut on my stoop, and I don't know if that is good.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the podcast. It's me, Queen Alita, and I'm back with my sisters, Yule and Mbali, and we have another guest.
That's me. I got worried when you said sisters pale. I was like, and brother?
And brother.
Oh.
And brother from another mother.
What's
Zama.
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah,
Zama.
Zama. Because he's a coconut guy. There's a coconut on our stoop.
Zama your full name?
Zamogwake is my full name.
Zamogwake.
Yeah.
Oh, try your own thing.
Basically.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your
I
thing.
told that to.
Do you, boo?
I used to date
Your name is Do You,
a missionary. I used to date a missionary, and then the parents asked me one time, so what does your name mean? It's like, no, literal translation is like, yeah, do your thing. He who does his own thing. They're like, that's not very Christ-like. I was like, but whoa, the spirit's different. The context.
That's like someone dropped Kanye West's song. That's not Christ-like. Christ-like.
But I was like, guys, it's cool. I get the misunderstanding. But it's fine.
Alright.
Self-sufficient is probably the best translation.
Yeah, probably. I just wanted to say that I just now saying there's a coconut on my stoop and nobody backed me up. Y'all left me hanging.
I thought about backing you.
Hanging.
And then
Hanging.
I thought about it.
I did.
And then you seemed confident.
No,
So-
I even stopped. I was like, yo, okay, don't back
I
up.
wasn't
anyway.
going to get into it,
Zama,
Shim.
tell us about yourself.
I like how you then thought about it. It's like,
But anyway, so what's today's topic, guys?
Wait, you just said Zama, tell us about yourself.
No, as in I moved on from singing the
oh,
song.
I had the same confusion. I had
You
the
know,
same.
I was ready to like,
Yeah,
where were
yeah.
you born?
Because
Like,
y'all weren't listening.
are you
Y'all
Zulu,
weren't
Zulu,
listening.
like,
But
are
yes,
you
tell us
Mali,
about
and
it.
so on?
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
That's such a broad thing. Give me ask me whatever.
Where were you born?
Where was I born?
Oh, do you, boo?
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Do
Do your
you.
name.
Do your
it.
name.
Do your name. That ain't Christ-like.
That's still feeling that.
Bring it up some trauma.
I
I'm so
no, I
sorry.
do, man. Yo, but anyway, was I born Park Lane? So born and bred. Just up the road.
Park Lane, baby.
Park Lane. What's good? What's good? Park Lane, you know. And then
I had a baby at Park Lane, if that
It
counts.
doesn't count. No, comrade. No. Beth.
Your membership has been denied.
That's it. Born and bred Joburg.
High school, Nyana.
High school, I went to Highlands North Boys.
But it was also after my
That's
time
in-
because then I would have known you because we went to Waverley.
Didn't Trevor
yeah.
Noah also go there for like a young stint
Who's that?
to Highlands North? Trevor Noah.
He might have.
He did.
There you
Remember,
go.
I know AJ Jack.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I heard they used to beat you guys there. Is it true?
It's funny how everyone who didn't go to Highlands has had
Stories.
more things about Highlands than us who went
It's
to
usually
Highlands.
how it is.
Yeah,
how
but
it
yes,
goes.
no, we went B10. Not at least when I was there. There was a lot of the silly kind of like hyper masculine stuff that comes with being in a boys only environment.
Yeah.
Especially with like initiation. But most of it was harmless. I really
No, it
enjoyed
wasn't
it.
harmless. I remember when I went to Highlands North Boys and
Yeah.
we were running the 1,500 meters.
Yeah.
And I came last and they laughed at me, them boys.
So that was
Really?
too harmful.
Then they
Yeah,
laughed.
okay.
Them boys cracked themselves up. They cracked
That's-
themselves up. They laughed so hard.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
is
I'd like to see y'all
harmful.
running. Can y'all run?
But they probably, half of them probably couldn't. They were laughing. But I meant just the experience of being there as a boy. I mean, I didn't. Most of it was actually pretty cool. It was like character building and it was adventurous. You did get people who would take it overboard, of course.
Yeah.
But most of the time it was like, it was okay. And I think by and large, guys act very differently when they're in their own environment than when there's like
when it's guys only.
girls to impress.
Yes. Yeah, no, I know, because
It's a
whenever
very different
Wavy
dynamic.
girls went to Highlands North, they just lost their minds.
No,
That's
they went berserk.
hot
Yeah,
we
it's
were.
not.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but yeah. But you get
Yeah.
what happened. So
Listen, the girls were the same. Just like,
I was about to say also girls. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, so Mbali, you guys were Park Lane babies.
anyway, so
But sorry, just fun fact. Actually, Waverley Girls Sister School is actually K's.
Really?
Brother school, sorry.
it's not Highlands.
No.
That's actually quite interesting. It makes sense because of the oak thing. There was something that I noted. That's why I had that prophetic vision. Sorry.
Prophetic vision now.
When we went to Keps to get to try and get space for the boys, I just saw Waverley. I just had this whole Waverley's nowhere near
Yes,
there.
because don't you wonder why when we used to go into the storerooms, there was all these elaborate sports gears, all this
Yes.
that from a time that we didn't know. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And Kez and Keps carried on with all these interesting sports, but Waverley never did.
That's such
You know
a
what it
pity.
is as
Waverley
well?
was
Yeah.
good when it was
Because even
good.
St. Mary's has this problem. Girls' schools, they don't give back the girls. Boys' schools are so loyal in giving back. So
What do you
they
mean?
go
Oh,
out
that's
back
interesting.
into the
So
workforce
for,
and then they'll give back to their schools.
Mm.
That's why boys' schools have got so much money all the time. And the places that like K's and Keps continue on to be like these prestigious government schools
That's
when the
interesting.
girls' schools are
Yeah, no,
Dragging
Waverley
on
didn't
one
go that
fighting
way.
for their lives.
Yeah, no, Waverley did not go that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, donate
They even
to
changed their
Waverley,
uniform.
guys.
Like, why?
Yeah, no,
Where
You're
did they
not
change it
donating.
from to?
some
Something
red
that looks like
spots,
St. Mary's.
It's like something like
Really?
a
It looks
knockoff,
like,
a Shein,
yeah.
a Timu version of
Yo.
St. Mary's.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That,
and then
That's
half
a
of them
weird
have the
move.
old uniform, so it was just like, guys, no.
That is a weird move.
Very
okay.
weird. But let's get to the topic. What are we talking about today, Yule? You were singing the song just now.
You want me to sing so you
You
can
sang
leave
the
me
song.
hanging on purpose?
No, leave me hanging.
So she
I won't.
I will leave you hanging.
I'm
she
not.
can take out squinch.
I'm getting ready to sing, but I'm scared she's gonna leave me hanging.
It's one line. What? How can I break you up?
Yeah, exactly.
Harmonize.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
You're singing.
No,
You're
you're singing.
Hey, guys, today's topic is about sex.
Let's talk
She was
about-
singing Salt and Pepper. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Ladies, all the ladies.
Okay, so we're talking about, it's not just sex. It's what? Marital sex. What did we call it?
I think that's
Yes.
what marital
Sex, and within like
The-
marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the only context it should be in. Like, I'm just saying, according to
Jesus.
yes.
Okay, so here's a question. Before we talk about,
Yeah.
okay, so when we're talking about sex, however the topic leads itself, I want you guys also please can you answer, ne? Like if you had sex before marriage and how that's affected, because lots of people will say it affects.
You guys just say Alita. Oh, well, both of us have
Oh,
history.
why?
Okay, I forgot. Because these two don't have history.
Guilty. People.
No, I forgot that I'm not the only one. Because generally,
Hey, implicating us in your
No one is
things.
implicating anyone, guys. Just answer the question, ne?
Yeah, no.
Like, and guys, please let's be vulnerable, ne? So like,
Yeah.
just like people say that if you've had sex before marriage, it plays a part within marriage. Does it? Is it that true?
Is it true?
And also, like, I don't know, like
'Cause it's
porn
such a
and stuff. If
scared
anyone wants to get
tactic.
into that, yeah.
Wow.
Where are we
It's a lot.
starting with?
So, no, let's talk about sex.
To your right, Mbali, to your right.
I'm also gonna look this way. Fine. We can all look this way together. It's okay.
It's hectic.
Guys,
So how does
please make sure my
premarital?
mother
Yeah,
doesn't watch this
So, yo,
episode.
yeah, our parents.
Yeah, Mama, stop now.
My mother like watches
click
it.
away.
Please.
This is a message directly
Go watch
to
Joyce
our
Meyer.
mama. Stop it. Just stop now.
700 Club.
700 Club, click on that. Okay, yeah, Zamba, give it to us.
So how does premarital sex how has it impacted?
Yeah, and has
affected?
it, or
Did
do you find that it
have
hasn't?
premarital sex?
Good. Hey, what's
Did
that?
you have premarital sex?
Yes. No. Let's start
Right.
there.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start there.
Laughing,
Yeah,
guys.
Mara, can you
the way
please
he
remove
says
this human being away from me?
That's the way he
I have, and I think it has affected, married life, and I think you only discover it kind of the further on the journey you go.
Okay.
At least that's been the case for me. I think the simplest and most obvious way it can do so is comparison. So you can, while you're with your partner, you can, I don't know, have a flashback
Okay.
to a past sexual experience, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Especially, I think for us guys, especially because we're such visual creatures.
I was gonna say,
I don't-
for me personally, I've never had
Right.
flashbacks, but
Yeah.
like you just said, for us guys, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so I think that can very obviously affect your current, your marriage.
But like, I mean, in the actual act of sex, like you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
what it is for the married couple, for you
Yeah.
guys to reach, like, okay, cool, it's working now. It's
Yes.
working for the both of us.
Yeah.
Does it? This would be.
I saw it. I knew you were gonna react because I saw the pee. I was like, oh, you lazy.
I tried to.
And these biscuits are not gonna help.
I mean,
Just try to play it cool.
does it affect your intimacy?
No.
Okay.
Because sorry, it's
No, continue.
Because
I don't want to get too heady about it, but because the sexual act, especially in the marriage context, is it's almost like a culmination or like a microcosm of how the rest of the relationship is anyway. So if we come into it with my
It's an
wife,
extension.
Yeah.
Come here.
I
Cool,
went
come.
to school for this thing. If we come into the act with my wife knowing exactly where I'm at, just if I'm not hiding anything, then it's not going to affect the intimacy because I'm coming as
you
I am anyway, including the fact that, damn babe, I've had past sexual experiences and sometimes I get scared or concerned that I'll have flashbacks. Bringing that.
okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. If you communicate, do you tell her
Yeah.
so flashback happened or so,
Yeah,
or
well,
this happened or
Yeah, so I mean, it's even, we've worked it up to a point where if in the act I feel uncomfortable or I have or whatever, a flashback, or for some reason I'm just not there, I can say, Ish, I'm not here for some reason. Can we stop and then at least just talk about that?
And then in your mind, have you ever rated your partner according to what you've experienced?
Great question.
Not
Not consciously.
Hey,
Yeah, no.
Diving in.
Not
I'll let you
consciously.
take all the questions.
Hey, no.
You
You're coming next.
And this one is to Zama and to my husband.
Yeah.
No keys, Zama's taking the questions from my husband.
Exactly. Brandon, you've got a
I can see them and I'm like, hey, Zama, don't fumble this.
Take one for all of us.
Yeah, hey, friend. Yucks. I mean, not consciously.
Okay.
Partly because, I mean, I was very attracted to my partner before we got married. So we knew before getting married, no, that's don't be a problem. This, the physical attraction. So, but not consciously going, that experience how was it compared to this? But I think inevitably it'll come.
Not saying anything.
Yeah.
You're saying a lot of things. It sounds like you're
What
trying to
do
go
you
around
say?
about.
Sounds-
No, I'm just saying
answering.
like you're not shooting a straight answer. You know what I mean?
What was the question?
He's doing a lot of like running around. So I'm trying to get a lot of like this. He's using his education here.
I must use
You paid for it.
You paid for it.
No, honestly.
So it's a no.
What was the question? I forgot.
Have you rated?
Yes.
Your spouse.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
some
but
should be like,
what do you
I mean-
mean rated? So, do you mean like
Compared.
Yeah.
Which he has. You did talk about comparing in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I think I have.
Okay.
But and
Yeah.
then like so as I'm doing it,
And
I
then how
don't
do you
realize
deal
I'm
with
doing
it?
it.
Okay.
It's like after the fact, then I go, I was like comparing experiences there.
Okay.
But
And then it's something you have to do you just like shoo it away, or do you subconsciously go, actually, let me deal
no,
with
so
that?
I go, let me deal with it. So the approach is let me sit with this. And then if it's something that it's on my heart to like bring into the space with my wife and be like, I'm struggling with this, then I'll do that. If it's just something I can work out on my own with
then
like God in my prayer time, like
Yeah.
then it's fine, because then it's not like a thing I'm carrying that she doesn't know. It's like, okay, something that happened and it's like, okay, you know,
When
let's
it's done,
move
you've
on.
dealt
Like
with
it's
it.
not tormenting.
Yeah,
it's not.
especially it helps that by the time we got married, my wife knew my sexual history. Partly because of like premarital counseling. Yeah, so we kind of got into the culture of sharing that kind of stuff. So it's not a big hang up, even if it does happen.
Okay. So, Alita, do you find when that past partners affect your intimacy in your current marriage?
Absolutely not. I just wanted to answer like that, but no, they really don't. Like,
Okay.
I was sitting here thinking about it when I was listening to Zama. Like when you asked him the comparison question, and I was like, I have never consciously compared, but I think sometimes the thoughts will come in, and I'm just like, ew, I don't want to think about that guy.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay. And in terms of the way you
just how I
guys are
think.
intimate with each other, I mean, in terms of like, let's say, e.g., you had a past partner that like disappointed you or didn't listen to you, like what you needed, and now you're in this marriage. Are you thinking like, oh, it's gonna go down the same, or are you also trying to alter yourself? There was a guy that
Like
said,
baggage almost.
yes, I was watching a guy that said, he said that for him, because of his past relationships, ne? So if his ex said, okay, listen, you're not emotional enough, that's why I'm breaking up with you. Then he gets into the next relationship going, hey, I must be emotional. And then she breaks up with him because he was over emotional. So I'm just saying,
Is that someone from Love is Blind?
no,
She
it
doesn't
wasn't-
watch Love
I
is
don't watch
Blind.
Love is Blind.
No.
Sorry, yeah,
What was
but
it? I feel like I watched the same thing.
Showmax.
Wow.
At the show,
What
these
show
South
on
African
Showmax?
shows, you know, the South African shows are always
Basically.
I can't. So
Okay.
I'm saying, if it's something like that, ne? Have you experienced that, like maybe fears that have crept in from past relationships and now are here within your intimacy, or were you able to just like do a clean slate and be like, okay, I don't have fears from the past, I don't have expectations from the past, I'm not going, okay, this guy doesn't know how to love me like the last guy loved me, you know what I mean, like in terms of the act of intimacy.
I think for me, the obviously expectations were there because neither one of us was a virgin when we got married. But I think being a woman, or maybe just me, let me not say being a woman, I went in with full confidence that this is going to be great. I didn't have any worries or like flashbacks like, oh my goodness, how am I going to overcome the past experiences? I think I had spent a long time
Overcoming past experiences.
exactly, and I mean it had been years since my last sexual experience before my husband, so it was easy in that regard, but I have found that being intimate with him, we've learned a lot about each other, that the past things do have affected us, that there's certain things we both needed to overcome so that we could have a better sex life on both our ends. So in a way it does affect, but it wasn't conscious, like I'm bringing this in and it's on my mind. It's just the way we, there's a growing process, I believe, that has to happen, that is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna actually say, just on your point as well, is that because I think to some degree, every marriage needs to go through that. Because I think we all bring in something as well. Because I was just thinking as well personally. As well, for us it was just the conservatism. I think it was for Andy just being, just also not having spoken in a church situation that they just don't speak about this. I mean, not that I was speaking about it all the time either, but that there's these baggages that we bring in anyway because we are people that go through experiences.
And I think that there's this expectation all around that if you're both virgins, or let's talk about the purity message, when people save themselves, we waited for each other, and it's like this wasn't as great as it as we expected. But I think people don't realize that no matter what the situation was, whether it's two virgins coming together or people with past sexual experiences, there's always going to be a growing and a learning process, and communication is going to be so important, because when Michael and I first started our marriage, there wasn't much communication because maybe there was fear there on both sides.
I'd even say the same.
And then you would try, okay, let me throw this in, see what the reaction is.
How just test the water.
This was received. So there's now more.
What?
But what are you throwing in? You're throwing in. Are you throwing in something that you learned in your past relationship? Like, what are you throwing in?
Throwing
like in your own body as well.
Like,
so
I
you'll
need
be
you to touch me like this.
do this.
Because you're also afraid, you don't want the person to feel rejected. Like, you're not doing it for me. But it's not that you're not doing it for me. It's just you don't know how to, like, you don't know what I'm feeling when you touch me in a certain way. And I need you to do it this way instead.
And was that received?
Absolutely received, yeah. So now there's more communication. There's more of us talking about how we would like to please each other in that area. And I think it's part of the growing process, because this expectation of, it's going to be great from the first time, that first night, wedding night, fireworks, it just doesn't happen for the majority of people.
And I also think they really let us down with sexual education in the Christian context. Like yes, you hear I feel like they talk around sex even in premarital, right? It's the stuff around. But I feel like we need, especially in premarital, you need the ABCs now.
Yes.
Now you gotta give me down and dirty details, because I agree.
Now the people on YouTube are doing it for us, because I'm like, hey babe, check this video out, because I didn't know this. Did you know this?
Me and Google were like this. I was learning things from Google, University of YouTube. We were like this. And I was like, but I have a whole community of like people, like church people around me. I should be able
married church people, and no one is saying anything.
Exactly.
Or imparting that knowledge.
Yeah, and I think even now, I don't know if it's TMI, but it's just like trying to navigate.
Well, guys, you guys are always, when it gets to me, I'm the main TMI one. Then you guys are looking at me. I'm like, you guys are always, you must be TMI, man.
Depends. Depends.
Yeah.
So what's your TMI there?
No, just also navigating sex while pregnant. That's like another mountain I wasn't ready for.
Sorry,
one's telling me anything.
Right.
But now you can also come ask how.
True. I've asked like one or two people, just not satisfactory answers.
Wow.
It has been church people as well, so just not satisfactory A, B, C down in dirty details. Give it to me. Answers I need to know.
Yeah.
No, I saw this on Motherhood. This lady, she was pregnant.
What's motherhood?
It's a group on Facebook, Mamahood, and she was just like, "No, I'm pregnant, and I'm not gonna give him anything, you know." And then the ladies are like, "Yes, go for it." You know what I mean? Don't give him some.
Girl
and
power.
Girl power. And I'm like, guys, okay, let him have a bad day or a bad something. And then are you going to wait that long? I mean, isn't marriage about sacrifice? Yes, you don't have to do it all the time if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you can. Like,
There's
Things that can be done.
There's
There
things
are
that
ways
can-
that you can meet each other somewhere
Right.
in the middle. And it begins with communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I think also, Leo, for me, guys, it's like, wow. Growing up, like, we weren't allowed to speak about sex at all. So sex was like this taboo, you know what I mean? Just like you, even like if you passed the television and people were kissing and your parents were there, you died.
Listen.
Like you
Oh
died.
my goodness, it was
Just
just
the
too
room
much
starts going
anxiety.
It
It's
was
too much.
everything is blurry. you
Everyone
I'll never
is
forget my
looking at the
Titanic
cushion.
experience.
You're hectic. Yeah,
And
no,
that's
How
such a
I'm-
mild
Because-
scene right
and
now.
it's such a mild one
True.
now. But back then,
No,
dude,
true.
it was...
Yeah.
Yo, blue movie.
Because
This is a blue movie.
Full
lad.
on, bruh. And,
oh gosh.
and it was a scary thing.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yes,
just
it
like,
was.
and you didn't know who to ask. You didn't have, like, there was no one that could help you. You know what I mean? And I remember, I don't know more how old we were, but we went to, it was after church, when we went to one of my uncle's houses, and we stumbled upon someone watching porn.
Oh yes, it was one
Sure.
of those.
And
Sundays.
I mean, like, for me, that was the first time I'm seeing that. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was your education now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's late. That's
Yeah.
the first time you're seeing it. It's late. This is your education now
That's the standard.
on
That's
what
the benchmark
sex
now.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's
So
what it should
like,
look like.
that was your education now. And then so you've got 0. Now you're going into marriage, ne? Then you get my dad. He's driving me now to go on my wedding day.
That was
On my wedding day, he has to take me
Hilarious.
to the salon
Yeah.
and to the venue.
Yeah.
He's got one job.
Yeah.
Salon
Take
and
me
venue.
to the salon
Yeah.
and venue.
He gets in the
that's
car,
it.
he's like, so the old ladies talk to you. I look at him, I'm like, what old ladies?
your mic was
Oh,
on your.
I'm like,
yeah.
what old ladies? And then he's like, about what you're going to do tonight. I'm like, stop talking. We are not having this conversation. Do not mess with me today. Do not mess with me today.
I would have punched my own
I'm like,
father.
we are not having this discussion. Only
Sorry,
because like it's
reflexes.
not. I mean, we didn't talk about stuff with my dad. I mean, like it's a black father. You
Right.
know what I mean? And now you want to
Yeah.
go there now. I'm
Today
like,
on this day.
hush.
Violently screaming.
Guys, and then did wedding night show me flames. Flames.
You should have listened to Papa.
Flames.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
My body went into a trauma response.
Yeah.
Seriously, and I was like, everything shut down.
Vaginismus. It's a real thing.
Shut down.
Google it.
I'm like, Brandon's like, what's going on, Shane? I'm
Yeah.
like, shut down, bro.
Wait, pause. So Brandon, when this occurred, what was happening for you?
Wedding night. Dun dun dun.
Obviously.
You were probably like, hey, when I
No.
I was like, what's going on with you?
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
man. I
good
wasn't
luck.
that
you
like
can be honest.
there was no hold on. I wasn't that desperate. I think I was more concerned with what's going on,
Yeah.
like within you, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, am I making the environment a pleasant for one? So those were the questions that were going through my mind. Was how can I make this? How can I help the situation? I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to take from the situation. Yeah. But to answer your question, that's basically what went through my mind.
Okay.
And I think it was years of like indoctrination from sex, you know, and a lot of things. And eventually I was just like, wedding night, I'm like screaming, I'm like, it's not,
Right.
it's not happening.
Yeah, no, there was
Leave
a
me.
study.
And then we went on to honeymoon, and like yeah, let's go out. I'm like, make sure we be out and
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You see, it's time to go home. The sun starts
When the
setting.
sun starts
the
to
stress
set.
of my life, bruh. The stress of my
And
life.
already you're
I'm not-
shut. I'm
Yeah.
shut.
I'll start
Yeah.
sweating. I'm
Shut
like,
down.
very,
The
man.
sun does that.
and
the
then Randon's
gates are
looking at me.
closed.
He's like, let's try again. I'm like, do we have to? And then there's like, guys, it was like that for about like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I remembered about 2 months or so, I went to the doctor and I'm like, yo, listen, I'm struggling with this. Ne? And the doctor says to me, what's wrong with you? Don't be like those women that struggle. I'm like, it's just, why are you shouting at me? I just want help. This is why I asked.
This is why I came here.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going
Shame.
to, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get this done. Then I went to one of the ladies at church, Lainey, and she was just like, you need to breathe. Number one.
Right.
You need to calm
Relax.
down. Nothing is happening if you don't calm down. I was like, oh. She's like, yes, everything tenses up and then that's it. I'm like, okay, that explains a lot.
But you see
So
what I'm-
now you're fighting. So now you're anxious to calm down. So now it's double.
Yeah, yeah.
now.
Hey,
Now
man.
it's double
I'm
time.
not coming down well now.
Because now you're anxious because of the coming down. Breathe. The coming down is making you anxious now.
Guningi.
Oh my gosh, guys, I prayed until one day it just finally happened. But it was
I was going to say that there's a study
Yeah.
done on this actually in the States about evangelical women and marriages. And there's, I can't remember the actual stat, but it was a really big number. I'll get it. Of how many evangelical Christian women experience vaginismus. I think it is the years of indoctrinating and
Yeah.
things, right? But I was going to say as well, the fact that, that was basic biology that we could have learned to get that premarital,
Yes.
that the vagina's a muscle.
Yes.
When your tense muscles tense up.
Exactly.
It's an A, B,
That's
C thing.
simple, but nobody.
Yeah.
So to relax a muscle,
Yes.
this is what you need to do. Or this is how you build up to it. Because or maybe even before you actually get to the act, do other stuff before. Or even just spend a little more time together or whatever needs to happen before you get there.
Dude,
It's the
even spending a little
ABCs.
more time was late. Because you understand, I understand now, my mind understands we're spending a little more time so we can what?
So we can get
Other stuff.
Yeah.
So this little more time is already, it's gone. It's gone
Okay.
straight, it was gone in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, look, but yeah, for those listening, I obviously wasn't a saint. I think at some point in time, she said 3 months. At some point in time,
Yeah.
You were like, hey,
I was now starting to
That's
get,
rough, man.
I was starting to figure out, okay, the rejection issues
Yeah,
start
yeah, yeah,
popping
yeah.
up for a guy. Now those thoughts are now, those manifestations are happening. It's becoming a reality now. You can't be, so, I agree with your point there on communication. Someone mentioned it. Communication
It was
is
my
key.
point.
Okay. Shout.
Communicating even that. And
Yeah.
to say, okay, I'm beginning to feel a little bit rejected now,
Yeah.
because if you don't communicate that, then the frustration will come out differently,
Yeah.
and it won't help the situation holistically. So I wasn't a saint.
No, but to be
I
honest,
did.
yeah, when you did communicate that you're
He
feeling
did what?
rejected.
Push things a little bit higher. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when he communicated he's feeling rejected, ne? Now it was an extra what?
Now,
Oh,
Yo.
so he's gonna feel rejected, anxiety.
I just
will
shut
make
down naturally. Then I have to learn to calm down, so I'm anxious about that.
Just added
Now,
another bold
now
So
I'm worried about his
amazing.
rejection.
Yes.
More
Like,
anxiety.
it was-
And the elders were saying, if the man doesn't have a plate at home, he's gonna.
It's going to go get
You
a
know all
plate
those,
somewhere
like,
Place
else.
somewhere
The
else.
advice. Masiphakeli ngaphandle. Ukhona ngeke.
That was a guys, that was a
It's
mind
all-
map. Yeah, so that was the first hurdle, ne? So now it finally happens, ne? And it's okay, cool. I'm like, okay, it's not so bad.
I thought you were going to say it ain't all it's cracked up to be.
No, it was
Okay.
But now I had to get through another hurdle in my mind from when we were kids, from watching that porn video.
Right.
Because now my first experience of watching sex was like this. It wasn't this like romantic, nice thing. It was very like violent.
Okay. We need to talk about the videos you see.
I was about to say.
And disentangle that. Because wow.
Wow. That's like the time when Buddy
How? There wasn't a bit of the juice, not milkman coming. No. Wow. Wow.
Back in my day, those porn videos were very like, oh, I'm here to deliver your milk.
Wow.
Come in.
Not mine.
But like in the act, I feel like those
guys.
it's just.
And also, like stories from your friends in college, they're like, yo, no, the guy must take you, must just throw you, and then just like, wow.
I mean, it's wow. That's not a bad thing.
I'm telling you.
Guys.
Hi.
So now, and then you get this other experience that's not what you thought of in your mind, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know what to feel about this. I don't know how my body is not reacting to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the experience that I saw. So now I had to go through a journey of like, okay, cool. It is not that experience that you saw. You know, when they talk about a junkie with the first high and whatever. So now it's like, how does my mind now like unlearn what I saw? Because you guys are talking about you're struggling with images from past relationships. I was struggling with images from that porn video. I could have been 10, 11. I can't even remember. But those images, like, I can still remember them. So now I'm like praying, God, please take these images out of my mind, because they just, they stuck. I think they stuck even extra because sex was not a thing.
Yes.
And we weren't allowed to talk about this thing, and it was taboo, and I've never had a conversation about it. So then now it was like, okay, cool. So this in my mind is how chemically my body wants sex to be, but it's not that. So now it's like, okay, Jesus, Holy Spirit, you need to help me unlearn this. And they also say, it's like within marriage, it was even weird for me when pastors say the Holy Spirit is with you in this act of sex. I'm like, it feels, the sex I know is dirty.
A lot of people struggle with
sex I
that,
know
with the
is dirty.
idea of the Holy Spirit being present in that space.
So how do you take this dirty thing, because I've known it as a dirty thing, and now you want to put God in it? You know what I'm saying? When this thing actually comes from God.
So on his name.
Yeah, he's on the road.
So it had to be like, okay, cool. Sex in God context. Why did God make sex? And learning, like, what's God's vision for sex? You know what I mean? And like, what did He want for us? Like, He wanted us to enjoy it. Enjoy it. Like, it's already like, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Just because of upbringing. So yeah, that was my journey.
Yeah. For me it was movies. So
On
I
E.
had movies
like
in
on
my
X-rated movies.
No, not on E. Like movies, like the Titanic scenes and those kinds of scenes, right?
The fireworks scenes.
Yeah, the firework. You know, it's just like she'll just go,
And everybody climaxes at the same time.
And everyone climaxes at the same time, and it's just this
Lies.
perfectly choreographed
Brother, also
The lies they tell.
Yes, and it's like it's it's beautiful, and I think
And the
it's
sheets are there, not frazzled. How?
No, the L-shaped sheets, guys.
Yes, and
at the end now when she's got the sheet here,
yeah,
he's
no,
got
it
the
must
sheet
be,
here.
and it's beautiful. It's like,
And it's just not like that. There's a lot of just practicality. And
in your terms.
it's not
Andy, you got it good. You got it good.
I know.
You're the one who brought the wow.
She was talking about porn.
Okay, sorry. Yes, we on your case. Sorry.
Oh,
We
gosh.
done.
But
Yeah.
you know, just like, and I think because I don't know if it's just a me thing, but because you're in the act, you can't see yourself like a movie, like
There's no camera angle.
So now I want to know.
Oh, am I?
What
Is
am
that
I?
sheet
Is
too?
my leg like this properly? And you know, am I
you have a double chin right now?
Because that's like that's what's happening in the movies.
Yeah.
So it's just
It's glamorous.
it's
very-
glamorous, right? And there's dim lighting and there's music.
I mean, you could create that.
Yes,
the
you
dim
can.
lighting and the
But,
music.
but even with the
looking
music,
like them, I
the
don't
music finished like. I mean, the song is 3 minutes.
Choreographed.
Yeah, and but also you must touch your hair like this first. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh,
And it's just it's not like this. There's things, mistakes happen.
Yes.
Things happen. You're bumping your heads. You've done something
Everything.
like it's just.
Fluidsy.
And it's like, it's I mean, you can laugh about it, but I think in those moments where you're trying to create this,
or recreate what you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just not
Yeah.
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask about foreplay, what that looks like, because someone mentioned how leading up to that act is the part that's important. What do we view that as? Is it when you're in the bedroom and okay, we're doing this thing now, or is it beyond that? Like,
Start
you know
with the
what I'm saying?
guys. Start with them.
Hey, Mazile, I was
This
waiting.
is what I wanna hear.
Look. I mean, I don't know if the other fellows share this view or if any one of you share this view. For me, the further along the journey I've gone, like in marriage, foreplay is whatever gets both of you in the space to connect sexually. In a way that you're both present.
Yeah.
So because the second I tried, like you say, like recreating anything, you get there, Ferrero Rocher, like you're right back in the mode of like trying to recreate something, but you discover, at least I discover more and more, that really sex is about bringing both of us right there to that moment.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because even when you're speaking about recreating something, sorry to cut you off. It's just like it's based on somebody else's experience, someone else's Hollywood experience, what
Yeah.
Hollywood has sold it to actually be.
Yeah.
Which do you need that there? I mean, what's actually works for you as a
Right.
person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is
Right.
questions we have to now go back and ask for each person, like, do I need the flowers? Maybe you do. Maybe like what were the flowers about? Anyway,
Keep
it
them
was
coming,
about-
honey bear.
Hey, you heard that, honey babe. But like, and you know what I mean? It's like, what is it? You know what I mean? For each person.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll find it's that because Hollywood said so.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's the communication, like leading up to it. It's send me a message that's going to get me excited. Let's talk about
with
it.
the eggplant and the peach.
We don't do emojis. We're all the
Oh.
millennials. We don't even know that we use those.
honey, tonight, eggplant, peach.
Sweat,
the
sweat,
splash.
sweat.
Honey, tonight. Or if you Mali, honey, tonight, wah, wah. Wah, wah. And then you know.
That's a cricket bat. I see a cricket bat.
Yeah. That's then she knows, okay, I know. It's on.
Well, that's not what I meant.
I'm being silly, sorry.
No, we love it. I just meant like, just talking about stuff like, when you wear this and just building it up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean?
You le manesh.
I'm going to
This
details.
what you learn.
I can't go into
Oh, so
details.
he's
like
saying
he
when
will
you wear this,
say,
or you saying to him when you wear that?
yeah, both of us
Okay.
have certain things that will, I want to see you in this. And
Okay.
yeah, and then the conversation kind of goes from there. Then by the time you get to being physically there together, it's already hyped up. You're already in the mood, Like for me, that's all part of foreplay. And also just connecting on other issues outside of the sexual space. Being able to come together and, I don't know how to put it, but like having intimacy without being it being about sex for me is also part of creating a more pleasant situation when we get to wah wah wah.
So just to add there, I also think it goes with where you at in your marriage. To be honest, like the age, maturity, for lack of a better word to use. I don't like the maturity; it's an intimidating word. Yeah. But I can.
I
just
like
speak for
that
myself.
word. It's a good word.
Me too.
Good. Okay. I can just speak like from experience, a little bit experience rather. 4 kids later. You
4 in this day and age. You guys must actually write a book about sex because you have
Every
got
time
it down
they go on a
pat.
trip, they come back with a baby. They're so
That's why we don't go on trips. No.
I think we've been through at least 4 or 5 couples who have worked with us in counseling, marriage counseling, help that we were accountable to.
Yeah.
But number one, for those listening, that's key. You can't take on this thing by yourself. You have to be working with somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
And preferably an elderly couple who have been through the, the notions. But I digress. It changes. It's no longer like it's no longer like honeymoon phase anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Those expectations are gone. I even for myself as a guy, I don't care. I found that maybe Yulia is no longer the priority as she was the first night. So that feeling of what I was worried or concerned about what was going on within her during the night, that's gone. That intent has left. I mean, we're 11 years into this thing. It's gone.
Yeah.
So I have to now find what works for her, like holistically.
Okay.
And it was suggested that, listen, romance starts from good morning.
Yeah.
For where you are in your
Absolutely.
relationship, romance starts from
I
good
agree.
morning. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna work this through and see, okay, how is the good, not the morning wood,
Okay.
Sama.
I didn't say anything.
What morning glory?
Oh wow.
No, I mean it's a combination.
Yeah.
During the
That
course
morning
of the
wood,
day.
as they say.
And that's challenging now for me personally. It's like a huge challenge to say, okay, today how am I gonna go about making my wife feel special to the point that when I'm at home, it may not be the case, but at least it's in the vicinity.
I'm gonna show
Say
you.
it's
Nate.
in the
When you
vicinity.
say
At
good
least-
morning,
at least there's
because
maybe-
you say good
Right.
morning, you're not getting some that night because I know you're on a plane. I'll show you. I'm joking.
Just to plug,
I'm joking,
I do have a plug. There's an app, a Christian sex app, Intimately Us, that has all these things. So you can put like your notifications on the app, and it reminds you, hey, today, just send her this message, or send him this message,
Interesting.
or
That's quite cool.
or order a gift for him to pop up at his office or something. So like, just as
I think
a
it's
plug to
important
help
because
with that.
like I almost said,
And it's Christian.
who needs that? But actually, it's true because you forget to
Especially with kids.
to give that love language that the person needs, and then they're starved, and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, not even for sex, just their love language.
Yeah.
Like, I just need you to affirm me right now and tell me I'm doing a
So
great
you
job.
can set those things
Yeah.
in the app, and it will make
Yeah.
according prompts as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just on this, and it's helpful because sometimes you do want to be all romantic, and that, but to come up with something is difficult, and then you've got to put
Be
time
creative.
away to do that. To not say that it's worth it, but you don't always have that ability.
Yeah.
So this is on the app now, and it refreshes a different thing, and you can, if you can't do it, you can then tell it to go on to another, what do you call it, suggestion. Today's suggestion is, sometimes if it has a chili emoji, then you know that it's,
It's hot.
but today it's just a rose. Today's challenge, start a journey together where you write a little things back and, things stuck in my throat. Things back and forth to Mbali. But Like if you can't do that, then there's another one with a celebration emoji. Start your car before it's time to leave, so it's warm and cool. This has nothing to
That's
do
very,
with
that's quite,
Good job.
that's nice, yeah.
certain things like that, and it's helpful. Here's one with the chili. Write a steamy love letter full of the sexual things you can imagine doing together someday.
Yeah.
And
Someday?
then
No, isn't it? What do you mean someday? It's going down tonight. Yeah, that's someday.
That's
Scratch that out.
And if you both have the app, you can connect it together. So on the top right, there's my account, and on the top left is Embodied's. And there's an option called Discover, where you can discover sexual positions, conversation starters.
Andy, my mom is watching
Randon
this.
no, it's
Calm
fine.
down, calm
Randon,
down. Like, just wait a
Randon
minute.
just flashing over there. Yes,
That's
Andy,
the
keep
plug,
reading.
That's the plug done.
If we can't talk about sex freely,
Intimately
Why
Us,
are we
that's
doing-
what the app is called.
what's it called?
very cool.
Intimately Us.
Intimately Us.
Christian app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think also for me, in terms of intimacy not being just the deed, ne? For me, it's like I just need to know that you see me. You know what I mean? I'm not here to help you with your physical need. We're here to connect. So sex is not like you're also not helping me with my physical need,
Yeah.
because we both
like
do
that,
have that as a
yeah.
need. But it's that we are being one.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a spiritual thing in that, but also it's that should be done before you become one. I don't know how to express it. So you should have the
I get you,
intimacy
yeah.
before the intimacy,
Okay.
like we all saying, you know what I mean?
Yes,
And the
yeah.
intimacy is that, like, you see me, I see you,
Yeah.
and we've clicked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like for me, like even like for me, I don't get turned on really by physicality. It's more like, it's more like how you make me feel. With the different things that you do, you know what I mean, and that you see me. It doesn't even have to be big things,
Yeah.
you know, that we together here.
Yeah, I think for I'll speak for majority of women, because I'm sure some are different, but I think it is mostly the case where it's not just about the physical things that you do. Yes, they can be pleasurable, but if before you didn't say hello to me, you didn't say good morning already, just to get me into that room, into that space, I'll get there, but it's just not going to be fun. There has to be certain things that are in place, like just be nice to me, say nice things, say hello. Like a hello for me is a big deal, because there are times, because right now obviously Michael's in the US and I'm here, and he'll start his day, he's going, and then it's I'm doing this and that. I'm like, but you didn't say hello, you didn't say hi, honey. It kills me. Stuff like that, and it starts to bring my day down. But I have to remember, okay, maybe right now he's going through this and that, so I obviously have to take it to Jesus and process it. But for me, that's part of getting there. Yeah.
I was also watching, what was it, Goop, I think it was, which is, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow's little sort of Goop. I don't know whether it's experimental or it's a thing, but she has like this like shop where she sells like natural things that are questionable and stuff like that.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
about
but
it.
anyway, yeah, it's a
I
thing.
don't
And
follow
so
celebrities and their things.
on YouTube, she released like a Goop documentary on married couples and their sexual lives and whatnot. And what I found interesting from that was how as people we also have, similar to like love languages, there's like different sexual languages, if you can call them that. I forgot what she uses here. So how like some people can be very physical seems to turn them on, or some the emotional, some very sensory mind in their head kind of people, you know. I think there was like 4 or 5 or something like that. But I think even that plays a huge role in getting to know your partner and yourself as well,
absolutely.
to know what works, what doesn't work. Because for me, I think we did try to do like the start from good morning. For me, there's so many emotions in a day that I can't now. I feel pressure to carry. That's good morning. You said good morning, so now I must just slow build to tonight. I'm like, we can start an hour before
We'll
for me,
see.
and I'll be okay. Do you know what I'm saying? But also that could also be, as you said, the season, because Randon says like you've changed as well in however long you've been married. But like right now, that's okay for me. We can start an hour, 2 hours before. You can start the nice things then.
I think I agree with that, right? I think what I was saying is that little things like that add to how I will experience the thing later. I was probably still good because it's nice, but it's
like things that irritate you, that take away.
Like I remember what a pastor said, one of the pastors, he said, guys, I don't know how guys cheat, like, or your place, like, how do you, like, you know how hard it is to please one woman? Just one woman. And she's changed throughout the marriage. He's like, now you gotta please that woman, then run and hide and go please another one. He's like, you're doing work. He's like, why would you give yourself work?
But it shows you that it's not for the other woman either. It's a selfish thing. Cheating is a selfish thing.
Yeah, it's more for his own gratification.
Sure.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it's interesting culturally, like how we've come, you know what I mean? Because our kids, like my kids, I gave them the Christian sex book. It's communication that we have. It's open communication. Because I'm just thinking also some of the other African cultures, just some of the people that we've crossed paths with, like the one lady just didn't want to have sex at all. You know what I mean? And she's not even one. I've known a couple of them that were like, I don't want to have sex with my husband at all. And when you look at the husbands, they come from a very cultural background of sex, you know what I mean? And yes, a lot of things could go wrong. It's also like the older you get, the drier you become, and it's like you go to the gynae for certain things you have to do these things, and not a lot of people know that they have to do these things.
Body.
Yes,
and
they don't know
that
they have to
so
do
many
these
things
things.
are tied to what happens down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so often, like, if with those patriarchal marriages, it's just come, let's go. I mean, you've also seen those documentaries of those ladies in the different
I had a friend from India.
Yeah.
She was from India. They moved to South Africa. This was years ago. She had one child. And she's like, I made this child with my husband and I never had sex with him after I got pregnant. She's like, I was not interested. She didn't want. So that was it. They had the one child. It was a boy. She was happy. He was happy. I don't know if he was happy about the no sex. But she would tell me, she's like, I've never gone there again. Child was like 10 or something. I'm like, wow.
And she's not the only one. Like, there've been so many stories, you know what I mean? And I think it's also that thing of like, if your body closes up, if you do that thing wrong, or if you know what I mean, it's just it's a sacrifice, and it's a relationship. It's not one-sided. And I think as married couples, we have to honor each other in that it's not one-sided.
And sex is such a beautiful gift from God that it's actually sad that there are people who find that for them it's a miserable experience. For example, that colleague that I used to work with, it's heartbreaking because God gave this to us to enjoy in marriage, to obviously increase the intimacy, but also to experience pleasure, and to think that there are people out there that for them it's not a pleasurable experience. There's too many things, whether it's trauma from childhood or just the way it's done. This husband is so patriarchal that I'm taking this thing now. I'm not gonna get you there. I'm just gonna go in and do what I need to do.
Because there's also the time gap, right? The guys can take like 5 minutes, whereas a woman can take 20 to 60 minutes.
Yes, just
to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
And
and it's guys are done. It's like
Shop.
Good night.
Lights out. And I think it's also linked to power. You know what I mean? Like a guy having certain, I don't know, Zama, you need to come in here because now I'm speaking as a girl. So I'm actually saying the wrong thing, but it's also linked with like guys having a certain amount of power over women during sex, because like I mean, yes, guys get raped, but if girls get raped more often, you know what I mean? And it's that thing of like, I've just exerted my power over you. It's also like you at a club, a guy's checking out who he gonna wham bam, ba, 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 ba. Thank you, ma'am. You know what I mean? And it's and at the end of the day, it's always the woman
Stay out the
feeling
clubs.
that's left feeling
Stay out.
like something was taken from her.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say guys. I'm talking for guys again. You have to correct me if I'm incorrect. But I wouldn't say when guys do they wham bam, thank you, ma'am, they feeling like something's taken from them. No, they feel like they've conquered and they've taken. And sometimes I feel like in a sexual relationship, when guys are married, they could still be that power play. Whether if it's a patriarchal marriage, or even sometimes I do feel like guys can slip into that power play of like, I'm taking now, it's not got nothing to do with you, you know. And I'm like, there's all these things at play, and I feel like they shouldn't be ignored. So yeah, I don't know, Zama, am I?
Fine, my biscuit is
It's
entering.
still eating, still entering. Let me take a bite of mine
I'm like,
while you're thinking about your answer.
yeah, I mean, no, I agree that there's a power dynamic for sure involved, and a lot of that is like what society says is normal, acceptable. You know, it's okay for a guy to, you know, like make a conquest of a woman, and therefore you feel like you've conquered after a sexual encounter and so on. But it's, and I think the other side of the power dynamic is like on the side of the ladies is the seduction aspect. How do I use you know, my body, my seductive, you know, capacity to get a certain outcome and so on. So it's like, I think both sexes can use, yes, I do think both sexes can use sex in a way, like,
Yeah,
you know, in ways, to gain
Power.
something
Control
as a
of
power
each other,
thing and a
yeah.
control. I'm coming.
They can, but
Oh, and they do. Yeah,
They do.
But and then I'll let you. I think though, in a weird way, and this is why I can't probably speak for guys, is the more I've done it, sex in the context of marriage, it's almost like the less I can speak about it, because
Sure.
because like it all the time it confounds all the narratives I had, I
like
hear.
that.
So it's like it's an ongoing education,
Yeah.
almost, and then it's like, then it becomes really something beautiful that I share with my wife. And you know, someone asked me probably over a year ago about, it was like a teenager, and they were like, yo, like, how can you commit to like having sex with just one person, you know? And I was like, I get
Such a
that.
teenage thing to ask.
I know, I get your logic. But if you're there, if both of you are like there, what you find is no two sexual encounters are the same, ever.
Yes.
So, like, then of course you can't get bored, because what are you bored of? It's you can only get bored of what you think should happen or has
So
happened,
that's deep, yeah.
Expectation.
and then you try and recreate that. If you fall into that trap,
Yeah.
but if you just allow it to be, sometimes it's messier than you want it to be or think it will be. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's explosive. Sometimes it's calm and soothing.
Sometimes
It's
just
loud. It's
beautiful
soft.
and-
It's
yeah.
like it takes on all these different shapes, and you
Yeah.
go, okay, maybe I should like start to let go
Of
like,
all these ideas.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I can speak about it less and less, because it's like, this thing, I don't know what
I
to
don't
say.
know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
So let's cast, and then
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Anyway.
just wanted to say, just going back to something you said earlier,
Oh yeah.
but I do like this point that you just made, really, really profound. But just like sometimes a woman is just being, and a guy is like, you are making moves on me, the way you walked, the way you, and I'm like, oh, one guy once told me, oh, your feminine energy. And I'm like, I'm not.
Right.
He made it seem like I was like
You,
sending it to him, and I'm like,
That's fair.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So you see why I was saying that, yeah, it's true, but sometimes guys just misconstrue what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And then you stop being friendly with guys, because I'm the kind of person, I'll smile at everyone and say hi, and then they'll be like, how sissy? And I'm like,
You see that hello?
you see?
Ah,
All I wanted
knew.
to do was just say hi, because you're a human being in front of me,
Right.
image of Christ, but now you think there's more. So I just wanted to,
Fair.
you know, from a girl's
Yeah, I block
perspective.
it by saying Baba. I don't care how old you are. If they start high, I'll be like, yeah, Baba, yeah. I saw Baba.
Thank you, Mama.
They'll be like,
Baba is the equivalent of daddy.
no.
Daddy.
Yeah, to some, be like,
Because
oh,
I
you
say,
definitely.
I'll be here like this. Like how Baba.
That's funny.
Alright, siyabonga,
Baba
Baba.
Zala.
So they know that
Yeah, it's not happening.
I'm not looking at you on the same level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or those that say, can I be your friend? Like, why you lying
What is
to
the
me? You
Facebook
know what?
invite that you want to be my friend?
We all know what that means.
We all know what that means. It's code for something else. No, we cannot be friends. I have enough friends. Thank you.
Aye,
Goodbye.
aye, aye.
Next. Okay. So yeah, do we want to conclude the topic?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, but we
Yes.
should conclude.
Yeah. Let me just reply.
Anything else anyone wants to add before you conclude? And you're not allowed to add anything.
Why?
Because if my mom watches, she's just like, yo, Mkwenyana, I can't. My white Mkwenyana, yo.
Say something.
like
I'll make
we
your
shouldn't-
mom watch.
You're putting Andy on the spot.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in conclusion, we're all learning what sex is.
We are learning
In marriage.
and that's actually a
And
beautiful journey.
yeah.
Marriage, yeah.
And we're letting God
Interchanging.
take us through it because it can
I
be
just want to
emotional
say,
sometimes.
on this point that you're making, sorry to cut you off in case someone comes for me in the comments. I just want to say that I think I want to highlight this point for people that, for example, like that teenager that came up to you and said, one person, you know,
sorry.
like,
Or
it's
the ones that say, you need to test drive before.
exactly.
How do you know what to buy if you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
The lies of the devil. Guys, don't fall for those things. As you heard here on this podcast today, it's a journey. It's about discovering each other, growing together in that way. And communication is always going to be important. If you cannot communicate with your significant other, something deeper is going on, and y'all need to go for counseling together, because there should be open communication, and it gets better. It gets so much sweeter. I know from experience. Yes, Randon, go ahead.
So just on that point, there's a wise
The way you
dude.
lifted your hand up.
Yeah, there's a wise dude that shared this a likening of sex, right? So it's like Velcro. So every time you having sex with someone, you're sticking to them like Velcro, and then it gets to a point where the Velcro doesn't stick anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because you've just overspent yourself. So, yeah.
Yeah,
such
that's
a-
true.
that's such
Exactly.
a-
I like that. Yeah.
I'm smiling now because it's such a
T-shirt.
Yes.
youth
Example.
example.
Yeah.
You know, sticking two pieces of paper, Velcro, illustration of sex. Very, very Christian-y.
Yes.
You leave some of yourself here and then
Yes.
You take some of
you're
them.
stuck with somebody else on this side.
And all the people they slept with are also now part of
Part
you.
of
So
you.
you pray. Yeah,
That's true, though.
Ignorance.
Yeah.
No, Randon's right. It's true, because that's what you're setting yourself up for. You're creating work for yourself that you actually could just avoid. Some of us have been down that road, having to deal with the soul ties, praying against it, and years of just being consecrated and what's the word? Not celibate. What's the other one? Abstinence. Yes. Because of just all of that history, and you don't need that. You just want to go in there and just have a great time, grow together, and be with the one God gave you. It's gonna be great, even though, you know, sometimes maybe this is going too deep, because I was about to be like, people worry about size. Like, I have to see what size the guy is before I marry him. So you literally you could miss out
So
on
Brandon and I were
the
talking about
man
size the
that
other
God
day.
has for you.
Oh wait.
And because of his size,
We were also talking about size, and
Yes.
he was just like, I'm
Flow in
us
the
chicks out there. They all want big size, right? A big
By
size. I'm like,
order.
guys, I feel like it's not about the size. It's about like you're saying, the more you do it, it's a lot of things.
It's
Like
a
I
lot.
don't want to get too
Yeah.
like rhythm. You guys know what I'm talking about.
no, I
Like,
don't. Please explain. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
I really don't know.
Yeah, you chose the topic.
It's like where
Yes,
Show us
exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk in a little bit of sign language. It's like where it is, it's rhythm, it's a lot. It's just like it's not size. You know what I mean? You don't just please somebody on size. You don't please somebody on size.
No, you don't,
There's-
because that
there's
can
a-
also be painful for some
I was
people.
about to say there's a girl
Exactly.
on Instagram that I saw. It's probably
What's
saved
the one with the
deep.
tape? With the,
Yes,
with
she's
the
like,
inches.
do people really want like 12 inches? She pulled out a tape and she's like,
This is 12.
inches. Are you insane? And she's like, most women are okay with with like
That's why
5 inches.
That's funny.
We're so happy because this is just
Oh, wow.
monstrosity.
Dude, have you seen those African books? Those African aesthetics books or fashion books? They'll just have guys from Africa, and then they're away. Then all of a sudden, there's this long thing coming out of the pants. You know what I mean? I'm just like, which girl? Seriously,
I've
which
seen those
girl?
books.
That's why you've got all these African women running away as well. You know what I mean? So those that start size is because Hollywood said size.
It's a cultural.
And people
it's
say,
a-
and you
societal.
thinking size until you actually calm down,
Wow.
Just
get
breathe.
into marriage,
Yes.
and let's see what it's really
Yes.
about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So size is. Don't even worry about any of that, guys. Like those are lies. Stop
Those
watching.
are lies.
Stop listening. Stop taking lessons from Hollywood and R&B music. Okay,
Yeah,
R&B
but-
music died, but no, for us, that's what
But
we
do you-
There
But
is- yeah.
growth happens, and even from
concerned
from
for that boy. Please
flaccid
check on him.
to
It's years later now.
to
Sorry.
erect, there's
I'm
huge
sorry.
differences in that as well. Literally,
Yes.
from flaccid to like a penis
Oh,
can go
yes,
like
yes,
5
that's
times
true.
the
So
size.
somebody
That's true.
From flaccid
And some
to
people
erect.
can be really
Listen.
long when they're
Flaccid.
flaccid, and then
We're not trying
Yeah.
to back up size, like shame, let it grow. We're saying some people have small penises,
Wow,
and
you guys know a lot about
and it's
this
okay
topic.
to have small penises.
Oh.
Yes, it's okay to have small penises,
I
but
would have thought.
as Tandy was saying as well, the micro, like the chances of you getting a micro penis
that's very rare.
is small
It's
because
very
it's a
But
condition.
I'm saying if you do have a micro penis, should girls be fine? They should be fine with it.
Yeah, but because it's rare and it's a medical
It's rare.
condition,
Yeah,
there's things around that you'll have to
yeah.
work out.
Hey,
But
you know,
otherwise,
you
generally,
think you're a guy
No,
and you know
generally,
things,
it's
but apparently,
Yeah.
size doesn't matter. That's what we're basically saying. It really doesn't matter.
is there something similar for guys, like
Similar
a
to what?
misconception, like
there's many.
I don't know, like the more
Loose
lips the
vagina?
better, the more lips the
Many.
better. I've heard of thicker
Or
lips. So
There's all
Some women have
yeah.
loose vaginas.
please make sure my brother doesn't watch this. Hey.
There's, I mean, yeah, there's, yeah, of course, all of that. I mean, most
What
of
was
which
that
I've
about
even
the lips?
forgotten.
What did you say?
No.
Sorry.
What did you say?
More,
Move it on,
more
move it on.
lips. Yeah, you said bigger lips.
yeah, I've heard that.
Bigger
There's
labia.
even, yeah, labia.
Oh, because yes, I'll
Yeah,
share
there's
something.
all, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, because you
Those
have,
African things that
I was
people
about
do.
to say the African ladies
Yeah, there's-
that
yeah, there's all sorts
spend
of
their
practices.
childhood
They
growing
say-
their
Lengthening-
labia.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
they don't spend their childhood. It's when their menstrual cycle starts, and the auntie will come and say, "Oh, you started your menstrual cycle. Now
Oh,
you're gonna
wow.
pull your
Starts
inner
pulling
labia."
your labia.
Yeah.
Guys, that's body harm, man. It's body damage.
What's the logic? What's
The
why?
logic,
What's the logic?
is that it creates more pleasure for,
For
the
the
guy.
guy.
Friction.
Yes, because of
Wow.
the friction, just the mechanics of the way
Sure.
it happens.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so it was cultural. I
Apparently,
mean, and done for
lots
guys.
of women have lost their husbands to girls with the stretched labia.
Wow.
Because they were like, "Yo, this is the stuff."
Is this
Wow.
this is not myth?
It's not a myth. It's not a myth. Ask your Zim
If you're
people.
gonna
They'll tell
start
you.
stretching
What
your
a Zim
labia,
friend
don't
ask
do
them.
it.
They'll tell you.
So, but now it's stretched out. Like, who wants to look at that?
Hey, listen. It's not even about looking at it. It's the pleasure it brings. I've heard stories. I was like, yo.
No, we should end here. We
Body
should.
mutilation.
Anytime, please.
So the other thing that no, I'm joking. Yeah, let's cap it there. You look like you're still
Traumatized.
thinking about it.
I am. I'm just like, yo. So, yeah. I was just like, people do a lot of
Google
things for
it, you'll
pleasure.
find out.
I was just like, people do a lot of things for pleasure, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Which is,
Like, and you're right, it actually is mutilation. Just leave things the way they are. God
Leave
knew
things
what
the
he
way
was
they
doing.
are, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, we've come to the end of the podcast. Guys, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay?
Andy's face as well, guys. It's not just
No, I was looking up.
Andy's
No,
done
guys,
with us.
we need to have more conversations like this because I think that it's just people don't know anything.
It's the
Like there's so much more that we could talk about. Like just even preparing your body as a woman or as a man just for intimacy. It's a whole thing. There's diet involved. There's things we don't even understand because nobody has taught us.
Do you know where the
it would be
clitoris
cool.
is?
Exactly, and how big it actually is.
Yeah, it would be cool if any one of our listeners obviously wants to come and shed more light into the. If you are a GB what? OBG what? Or yeah, or have that history.
OBGYN,
Sexologist.
sexologist, anybody who can come and just give us some.
Yeah.
Or a traditionalist as well to explain that pulling thing as well.
Oh, yeah, maybe there's aspects we just don't understand.
Don't know, yeah. True.
Open
Oh, you
to
were
that.
saying, but guys don't need to prepare. You were saying something about.
Absolutely. Guys need to
Guys,
be
what do
taking.
you prepare? Okay,
Guys
let's be
need to be
honest.
taking. Let me tell you what guys need to be doing.
That's what ever really big. What did you prepare? As a guy,
Ever
like,
ready?
Aye.
No, I'm just saying that sometimes you have moments where things may not be. Every guy goes through ED, erectile dysfunction at some point.
Ow.
In the
I'm
that's
kidding.
what the stats say. Okay, at some point.
Yeah.
And if there's dietary
Cleanliness
things
as well.
you need to be cleanliness as well. is
Especially
important.
for uncircumcised guys.
There's a whole, kind of psychology and stuff around ED. I mean,
Yes, yeah, it can also be.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, watermelon, great for guys. Maca,
Well, due to your long experience as a guy.
I'm just throwing things out there. Anything that comes from the
Wait,
root, from the root of a tree.
There's water. You know this watermelon thing, bruh.
It's got
It's following.
it's,
Even in cartoons now, it's there. So I just want to understand what is it with.
I was listening to a
Don't know.
sex expert the other day, and she was talking about how if you want to go stronger and for longer, not that women want to
This is
go for
giving
a
penis
million
enlargement
years.
edge.
No,
Very much.
not penis enlargement. She was really,
This is
she knows her
giving
stuff.
Gogo someone.
Gogo so-and-so.
Hey,
No.
hey, we'll get at it. I gotta call him. Okay, sharp.
She was just saying how, just for male and female, there's certain things that you can do that if you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, take watermelon. She was giving food things instead of
You know what? You're
supplements.
right because
You know what I'm
you know
saying?
because guys need to girls go longer than guys, so guys need to size biologically.
Yes.
So for guys to last,
But also women need to help men because sometimes we get them there too quickly.
Men's health.
but
Men's
Yeah,
health
no,
too
like
is
sometimes
issue.
if the guy's enjoying too much and then they're like, you have to slow things down. Tell them to breathe.
you want to tell your man to breathe. You'll be
Breathe.
like, babe,
Yeah,
Also edging.
how
Edging is a thing as well.
aging.
okay,
Edging.
I can't with this
What is this?
conversation anymore,
I-
guys.
again,
Can we
I
edge?
said 15 minutes
And
ago.
now,
Cut these
I'm trying
mics.
to be brave for
Cut
most of
these
it,
mics.
but now I can't
People
even
are out of
Can we
order.
just end the entire series? I don't even know. This edging, it just sounds like I just see a vagina going
Yeah.
edging. Can we kill this?
No, we're not killing this conversation. You made it deep when Walee's like, is that
Yo.
I can't
Just
do
taking
it.
your time.
Just as he's about to climax,
See, hey.
he
Slow
pulls
down.
back, he slows down.
Say, hey?
Wow. Wow.
Yes. No, but That's
just
because
as
that
about to go
enhances
over the hump,
orgasms.
just
It creates it
Longevity.
creates a build up, and then
it's
that
great for
orgasm
the
is
guy,
really
it's
beautiful.
great for the lady as well, it's great
Yes.
for everyone.
Yeah. This when we said we're talking about sex, this is what I
I
envisioned.
get-
This was the vision I had.
The
The
eagles and
uncomfortable
the
things.
Generation. Oh. No, I can understand our parents. Oh, not edging.
Edging.
Let's not have these conversations, please.
No, these are good conversations to have because people need to know these things. No, but I'm just saying, guys, like when we said we're talking about sex,
Yeah.
like, in my mind I was like, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. The things that we don't know. I'm learning about these things now, and I'm like, why am I only learning about these things now?
About your own body,
About my own
even
body,
sometimes.
exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah.
There's so much we don't know about our own bodies.
Having said that, to counterbalance,
Where are you trying to
because
balance?
edging.
It's a good thing.
Fix your edges, girl.
No, I mean, yeah, I do think that there's stuff that's you're just gonna only discover it as you go.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost meant to be that way. So it's like we have to find the balance between like what's helpful for you to know before, like you're saying, and like what you're saying. Like these things are helpful to talk about, so that, for example, you're not like anxious.
Yeah, I think
For
for
no
me, what's
reason.
helpful, what would have been helpful to talk
Yeah.
about, is that it's different for everybody.
It's
And
exactly.
then sometimes you're gonna miss it. Sometimes you're not gonna get it. Like
And it's a journey of
that women and
discovery.
guys are different.
Yeah.
And that, you know what I mean, like that it's not you guys are not gonna go at the same time magically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean.
You're not going to
Things
climax
like
at the same
that.
time. Say the words. You're not going to reach climax at the same time. Why are we shying away from the terms?
But it's
Or
the
do you
basic
climax?
stuff. That's why I'm like when you're in marriage, after a while, you're like, the stuff is so obvious now. Like, of course, we're not going to climax
Right.
at
Like, you
the
know,
same time.
yeah.
Right.
But I mean, before that,
It
This
was
is
like
the expectation.
yeah.
just come on.
And then you feel like something's wrong with me
Counseling.
because he climaxed and I didn't. Now there's something wrong with me.
Oh, there's something wrong with you. Then you go on months without climaxing. Or
Because
or
now,
you're
because
not
now
sure,
it's a
now you
focal.
don't
Now
know.
it's like this thing that has to
Yeah.
happen, and we have to make it happen, and it's just no.
No, if we have to make it happen, my mind goes,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
I'm
be
out.
like that. Yeah.
Like, someone was saying it's like for women it's like like those sneezes that
A sneeze.
those sneezes
That's
that
the
you have
coming
to,
that don't come.
that are in the back that want to come, but you can't. You have to focus until the sneeze comes. And I was like, that actually.
Okay, as long as she's not saying that the actual orgasm is like a sneeze, but
No,
the
but
build-up.
the build up,
Okay.
like how we have to
'Cause
focus,
she
how we
had
have to
no
be
orgasm.
in line with the moment, with the act. Like
Yeah.
it's a mental game.
Yeah.
Okay,
focus.
right. Yeah.
Because it's
So do you focus?
if you do this, it's late.
Yeah, no.
No, it feels like that.
It feels like that. Don't shift your eyeballs, bruh. Don't you dare.
You have to
Or
like.
your phone, a message comes in, it has to be on silent, or the phones have to be off because
Yeah.
that thing.
One thing is
It's
gone.
gone. It's gone.
It's
and
gone.
you
We have
to start
you
from
see
zero.
it disappear.
You have to
Like,
start
and you were
again.
there. You were there. You were right
that
there.
phone made a sound.
I know,
gone.
it's a mission.
Yeah,
Guys,
I know.
just to close off, ne? We have to close off now.
Yeah, we do. We should.
But
But we need to pick up this topic again.
30 seconds each person. What's your take on, okay, not each person, you just like talk anyone. What's your take on masturbation? Christians.
Oh, okay.
Good
Yeah, me, it's not a 30-second take. I'll start. Um,
Yo,
Oh, I
lead us.
Okay, besides obviously it being not good, like we've heard it in the Christian circles, don't masturbate, blah, blah, blah. It desensitizes you from like the beauty of actual sex. Because some men apparently don't even reach climax until, like with their wives, they have to leave the bed to go and finish off somewhere else, struggling with having children because he's not able to finish the job. Masturbation is just bad. Don't do it. That's my take. Desensitized.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I can say something because I think this was also something that we discussed intensely with Andy, even in marriage, because so we both agree that masturbation not great. but in together, in pleasuring each other, that there can be moments where we can pleasure ourselves or help each other ourselves get to a certain place or whatever. I don't know if that counts as masturbation because you're still with
together,
your partner.
you're with your,
So I think our benchmark is that we're always together. We're not doing these things.
Because I once heard from a Christian lady, ne? She said it's good to masturbate because how else are you going to know your body and how else are you going to tell the guy what to do? Made sense, but I don't believe it's right.
I've heard that before and I almost fell for it.
I think that's why it's so important to be in a space together.
Because it's fornication because why? You're by yourself.
With you.
Do you get what I'm saying? No. It's fornication because you're by yourself, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there's a thin line.
And what are you thinking about? What are the images in your mind? Sorry,
yeah.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I agree. With everything that's been said, I get the feeling. However, and I don't know what you guys think, that it's like a subject that we need to deal with in a like uniquely when it comes to like how boys transitioning into manhood, well, whatever, males deal with it, because of the mechanics and biology of how when you get your first sexual urges as a guy, it's like we don't need the kind of emotional element, generally speaking. So it starts like at a point in time where sex is still a taboo most of the time, but the urge is there.
Yeah.
And it's like how do you relate with this? How do you deal with this? And I say that because among guys, at least, especially in high school, masturbation was like a big topic because it was like basically everyone does it. Yeah. And at a point it's like, yeah, obvious, because how else are you going to live yourself if there's no woman around? So I almost feel like it needs to be broached much more directly and earlier for us, because it's like I'm a visual creature, and it's like so totally involuntary, and then it's like all your education around it comes with the conversations with the gents. And it's like, oh, why aren't you masturbating? Just why are you creating problems with yourself? And then, exactly, it's true. And then you have this kind of, and then you walk around with like shame for just being a guy with sexual urges, the boy, and then I think a lot of that translates into like a lot of a toxic masculinity and like kind of uncertainty around what manhood is. And anyway, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just to add to that. Excuse the pun, I think it's a phallus. I'm just joking. But to be honest, I think, yeah, you're right. I agree with you on your point. It should be tackled, strategically, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, that was a gateway to porn. For me.
Yeah.
That was a gateway.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I had problems getting out. Because I was too sucked in. And then I later found out that actually there are spiritual consequences to that, because to your point, Yule, actually you're never alone. So even though I think I'm alone masturbating,
that's the thing.
I'm actually giving my energy spiritually away to something else that is taking that force from me. I came to learn that recently. So there's that spiritual tie again. Is that aspect, and we can argue about this. And if there's any
true.
spiritualist,
I was about to back you up.
not spiritualist. If there's any Christian who deals with this spiritual aspect, I would like you to come and help us understand this, because a lot of Christians, I think it's a.
You know what it is, Randall?
People don't believe in it, and people believe in it.
Yes.
Because so much has been hidden of the whole spiritual realm, and just spirituality has been so hidden, because that's what the devil wanted. He wanted to be in the shadows. If you, I don't know if you've ever listened to somebody who used to be an ex-Satanist, they'll tell you that people from the Church of Satan, their whole thing was to be under the radar. They didn't want to be known that there's a Church of Satan, but about Popeye. People that Popeye put it out. It was always supposed to be secret, like underground things, and that's how Satan has really deceived the world, because he's taught mankind there's no spiritual realm that doesn't exist. I was listening to a testimony yesterday of a young lady in Kenya who was like, she was initiated into whatever marine kingdom things, but don't judge me, but she was initiated into the marine kingdom, and she would be, you know, like astral projecting at night. They would come and fetch her, whoever those people were, and she would have to recruit people during the day. She would have to teach, she was in school, like high school, teach girls and boys to masturbate, so that when they do that, spiritually they're collecting fluids and they're going to take them to the marine kingdom. So there's a whole thing. I was just like, what? So what Brandon is saying, it's not
Collecting fluids. Wait, man.
your DNA is, people's DNAs are out there in marine kingdoms being used, because it's about, I guess this is a new age, but exchanging energies, stealing people's destinies, using people's virtue, people's life forces, I guess, in a sense. I don't fully understand it, but that was what she used to do till she was delivered.
With that,
On that note, please subscribe. This is the second time I'm trying to end this. Yeah, on that note, guys, thank you for watching the podcast. Remember to share your comments, let us know what you think, ask us your questions, and remember to subscribe. Just click. It's for free. Okay? It's for free. Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.
Somebody said bye for us.
That was a